What's up, guys? Another day, another dollar. Today's video topic is life can always get worse. There's no limit to how bad things can get. And I think we forget that. It's like, oh, this couldn't get any worse. Yes, it can get worse. Some guy, I made a TikTok about this, and some guy said, Horsemeet, I bought her whatever she wanted and she cheated on me. You know what I'm saying? How could it get worse? Got you. Imagine, right? You walk in, she cheats on you with your best friend, but instead of hearing about it and finding out about it, you walk in and see it with your own eyes, right? And at that same time, you're sitting there shocked, watching your best friend pack your girl. She's like, you know what I'm saying? Suddenly, this big thing falls off the wall, right? Hits you, I don't know, there's just this big hanging like picture or this heavy ass shit, falls off the wall because they're fucking so hard, falls off and hits you in your lower back, cracks your spine, you can't walk temporarily, and you're laying on the ground, you can't move, and they look at you and they don't even stop. And you're sitting there in like a paralyzed state and it's still happening, you just got tears running down your face and they're just, you know, it could always get worse. You know, every time I'm mad at a grocery store, right, because the sale is expired, right, because I'm a big sale guy. I love coupons, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a big baller. You know, a lot of people buy Lamborghinis and houses and fucking crazy Nah, bro, I like sales. I like coupons. I like discounts. I like that 40% off on Tuesday shit. Buy one, get one free. I fuck with all of that. And when there's times where those sales just aren't there, you know, I'm like, fuck, bro, life sucks, you know? But then I remember, right, there's men out there who pay thousands of dollars to dominatrix to get their balls stomped on and whipped, you know what I'm saying, and degraded to tell them how worthless and shit they are. And they don't even have sex after. And thousands of dollars just gone just to get their dick stomped on. And then they come home, right, and their wife is cheating on them. Or they don't even have a wife. You know, they've been lonely their whole life. And I'm like, you know, maybe the sale's not that bad. And I grab that ground beef off the thing and I walk away happily. If you guys have watched my email videos, you know people are in fucked situations, you know, situations that I would never want to be in, you know what I'm saying? Like getting a 33-year-old mom pregnant, you know, like that. You know, and then I remember, you know, what am I upset about? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I really that mad? I look at the sun and the sun is beaming on my face and I don't have a baby mama who's crazy with 3 kids and I have to pay everything in child support. And I'm like, things are good. If you have a wild imagination, no matter how bad things can get, you can definitely think of how it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? At least, you know, it's like something bad could happen, right? Well, at least this didn't also happen. You know, it's like things could just always remember things could be worse. Bottom of it, you know, we could be, you know, fighting in a war in the trenches. And, you know what I'm saying? Imagine you're a soldier in the trenches. You get a letter from your girlfriend back home. She's like, I'm sorry, I left you for a big fucking Samoan dude. And you're like, damn. And then you hear the drone. This is a drone. It's over. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That letter is the last thing you read is a picture of like a written out thing of her getting just dicked down by some big Samoan. Always remember, be thankful, be grateful for what you have. I'm not saying compare to other people's situations that are worse. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that because I'll never truly understand other people's. You'll never really understand other people's situations except your own, right? But you know what I'm saying? I don't have to live through it to know that some situations are definitely worse than what I have. And I had a really interesting experience, right? So my mom used to work with this guy because she's a financial planner, right? Or she used to be. And she worked with this guy who left financial planning and got into investments, as well as he owned a lot of a certain chain. He basically hit the billionaire mark. I think he was around 800 million. And we visited his house. It was one of his like 8 houses, and he had a penthouse and like 5 Lamborghinis, you know what I'm saying? And the fucking membership for the golf whatever shit was $100,000 a year, okay? Or $100,000 every 6 months, something like that. Something super elite, like the owner of like huge corporations and shit lived on that street, like shit you would hear all the time, like, oh, this guy owns like fucking Coca-Cola, or this guy owns fucking, you know, Beats. It wasn't Dr. Dre, or this guy owns fucking Heinz ketchup. And the interesting thing about it was like, despite everything they had, because they were in a circle of such elite, they're like, man, well, I have 5 Lamborghinis, but that guy has 15 Lamborghinis and a yacht. So like, I'm not happy with what I have. Like they'd be mad because the competitive level was so there. But then I think about it, I'm like, do you need that level of competitiveness to even get to that point? To the point where you're so competitive as a person that you're like never truly happy with what you have because you're so hungry. And you need that hunger, but then there's also like a moment where you need to sit there and be like, you know, I don't have to tear myself up because this guy has like one more Lamborghini than I do. But I thought it was a really interesting sight to see. In the same sense, you know, someone always has something better and someone always has something worse, but you don't have to compare to people. But just know, if your situation is so bad to the point you think it just can't get any worse, there's no fathomable way that it could get worse, it can get worse. It definitely can. So be thankful, you know what I'm saying? Live your life. Enjoy the small things, you know what I'm saying? Every little thing is a blessing that we take for granted, you know what I'm saying? Like a day of good weather, you know what I'm saying? That's a blessing. Be thankful for that. You know, the fact that you have 2 legs to walk on, you know, the fact that you have availability to food, you know what I'm saying? Just be thankful for that stuff. Not saying that people that don't have that aren't happy, but just be thankful for the things that you have, you know what I'm saying? And that's it for today's video. Code Horsemeet on Civil Regime and Iron CRUE, bro. I got so many compliments on this fucking, on the skull chain, and always my earrings and shit, and this one. But yeah, man, I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. I hope everything's going good for you guys. I hope your families are okay. I hope whatever you're going through gets better, you know, and I hope you guys always, no matter how bad things get, you keep your head up and you work hard and you hope for a better future. All right, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.